Hello and welcome to the Mama Chicken tutorial. Long awaited, long overdue. Bloop. So we are going to do kind of two main bits. So we're going to do the mom piece first, and we're going to do the baby piece. My Mama Chicken is inspired by this Instagram pattern. You'll notice it's got a similar like concept, like make the tube and then chicken around it. I make mine a little bit shorter. My tails are different. My comb is pretty different. And I also do a different baby chick. I have no idea. I followed that pattern to a T, and I have no idea how that woman did her chick the way she did it. I think it's witchcraft or some malarkey of some kind. I have no idea, but this is mine inspired by Pixie Knots Crochet Chicken, which is an excellent pattern, one of my first I ever made. And this is just my version of it. A little different, I think that's how most crochet patterns come about. I like to do burnout blanket. That's my favorite. So I've just got this nice, what is this called? Beach foam, nice beach foam. I'm also working with a 6.0 millimeter hook. I've got my little stitch marker and we are good to go. This is a beginner friendly pattern, but it's not for like the first project you ever make. So we're gonna start with a magic ring of 6. 1, 2, forgot to put my stitch marker on. I think that's 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And this is the start of our beautiful Mama Chicken. Now we're going to do some pretty standard building. We're going to do an increase row around. So we're going to go from 6 to 12. So every stitch will be an increase. So that means we do a single, like 2 single crochets in each. So this first one's get 1, and then in the exact same stitch, sorry, I feel like I yelled 1 there. Holy moly, 2, then 11 and 12. And we're already done with row 2. We are just eating this up. We're just doing a great job here. Now for our next one, we're going to do a single crochet and then an increase in the next. So single, then an increase. That'll bring us up to 18 in this row. So then the next one will get 2 singles. That'll be our increase. Single, increase, and we're going to do that all the way around. So when you get your single increase pattern all the way around, meet me back here for row 4. All right, so now we are going to do a front loop only. So if you've never done this before, each, I don't have a needle over here, so we're gonna use this tiny sword. Each one of the stitches, so when we do a normal single crochet, we go through like both loops right here. I don't know if there's a good way to show you. There we go, but each one has 2. So like there's this back loop. I don't know if I'm focused. There's also a front loop. So whenever you hear someone say front loop only, you're just gonna stick your hook in that front loop. So normally we would do both. We don't want both. We want this row to just be that front loop. And later we will do a back loop, so we'll get to see that too. So I'm just gonna go around, single crochet in each, so we're gonna stay at 18, just in that front loop. Front, so you might have to wiggle a little. If you got a tight tension, you might do a little bit of wiggling to get in there. And that's gonna kind of make it pop in, almost like a cup shape. And that's gonna help us make that internal cavity for our chicken. Oops, nope. See, this is a tight one. Yep, there we go. So we got to wiggle in there. And we're just going to go around, front loop only, and I'll meet you back here. All right, so as you can see, it now has this nice little bowl shape. So we're going to go around, and we're going to just do single crochets. So now just normal. So we're going through, our normal both loops. No worrying about front or back loop. Just a normal single crochet. And we're going to go around we're going to do 4 rows. Go ahead and do 4 rows of single crochets. Bit 18 total stitches in each round, okay? All right, 4 rounds later, and we're back again. So this time we are returning to our knowledge of front and back loops. So we know there's 2 separate loops, right? This time we're gonna go into that back loop. So you kind of come in from the top and you're gonna pop it out with your hook, okay? So you're gonna go in more from the top because you only want that back part of the loop, okay? And we're just going to go back loop for all of them. All right, and I will see you back here when you're done with this row. All right, and our kind of inner part of our chicken is done. So kind of just to show you, it's one of our finished chicks. This is where the chick actually goes inside. Oh, how cool is that? You guys already have that inside part done. Love it. All right, so now we're gonna go back to building our base. So we need to do 2 single crochets and then an increase. So we're gonna do 1 single crochet. Now we're starting to get into the tedious part of this project. 2 single crochets and then an increase here. So 1 and then a second into that same stitch. So go around. So this part is a little bit tedious because you just kind of go around building and then you're going to go straight up for several rounds. I would say these chickens usually take me about 1.5 hours, probably about 1 hour and 15 minutes for the body portion and then about 15 minutes for the chick and the details. So that's not too bad at all. I do take them to markets. I find they sell best at like 20 bucks. I've done them up to 25. They don't do as well at 25, but it's kind of up to how long it takes you and that kind of stuff. I feel like in the right market, you could probably even do them for 30 because they're pretty big and they do have that kind of fun secondary element. I mean, look how big that is. That's a big piece. A big piece. I don't know. All right, we're back over here. Sorry, the cricket's over here now, so the scene is a little bit different. So we are going to keep growing our circle. So now we're gonna go around 3 single crochets. So 1, you're gonna notice a pattern pretty quickly with this piece. 2, 3, and then we're gonna do an increase. So that's 2 singles in the same stitch. So 1 in, and then 1 more in the same stitch. All right, we're gonna do that all the way around. Oop, whoopsie daisy fig. Holy moly, making earthquakes over here. So 3 singles and then an increase, and I'll meet you back here. All right, now we're gonna do 4 single crochets and an increase. So 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then an increase, and we're gonna go around. All right, last round of building up our circle. So we're doing our last round of increases. So we're gonna go 5 and then an increase for this one. So 5 singles, 2, 3. Sorry, the lighting kind of stinks in here this morning and I feel like I'm losing my voice. 4, 5, and then an increase. 1, whoops. 2. All right, we're going to do that all the way around, and this will be our final one of building, and then we're going up. All right, now we're going to do a back loop only row. I said that weird. All right, back loop only row. We're going to start building up our chicken. So this is our chicken's little butt, and this is where it's going to start getting a little bit bigger. If you guys have ever played air hockey, we're going to try to make it look like an air hockey like hand thingy. This is going to help us with shaping. So we're just going to go the whole round, singles in each one. So again, normally we would go in both. Don't want that. Nope. Just that back loop. No front loop. Front loop gets nothing from us in this round. We're bullying it. All right, then we're going to go in the back loop all the way around. All right, and we're ready for the part of this that takes the least brain energy or least brain power. So we're just gonna single crochet up for 8 rows. This is the part where mine deviates from Pixie Knots. She keeps hers like real tall, but I don't like them very much as tall. I feel like they look a little bit, I don't know, a little bit too stretched out for me. So I think she does like 10 rows up or something. I do not. I do about 8. So we're just gonna do 8 rounds straight up. So this is the best part because you can kind of just like dilly-dally about while you do this. And then I don't know if you'll be able to see it now. I'll turn the camera back on in a couple minutes because, oh yeah, you can see it actually. So this is the round where we did that front loop or that back loop only. So it creates both a nice shape and a really easy line for us to count from. You can kind of see it. From pretty much any angle, that little line pops out at us, so you can count up. So we'll have that first back loop only row, and then we'll have our first round. So we're at, you know, back loop only and then 1. So we just need to go up until we can count 8. So you don't even really need to think how many rows up you are. You could just count from that line. So I will see you back when we have 8 rounds up. All right, we're back again. I've also realized that this entire time I had an external microphone and I completely forgot to
plug it in. So hopefully the audio just got better. We're going to start on our first decrease round. We're just going to go around 2 to decrease, then our main body is done. So we're going to do 5 singles and then a decrease. So 1, 5. Ooh, I don't know why this angle is slightly different than the last one. Hopefully you guys can still see okay. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a decrease. And we're going to do that all the way around. And these 2 decrease rounds help to give it like a really nice kind of plump shape, I will say. So if you want it extra plump, you could do an extra one. I'm going to do my normal 2. Okay. Oh, you know what else I forgot? Hold on. Pause, pause, pause. All right. So I wanted to show you this line now that you can see it better, hopefully. So if I turn it, you can kind of see that line where we did that back loop only, like right there. It just like kind of pops out. So you'll have your back loop only, and then you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 up. And you know what? If you wanted to make it easier, just add the back loop only in. So you should have 9 total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's just a little clue so that I can totally zone out, do something else, and I can still like not lose count of my rows. So, all right, last row. How exciting. So we're going to go around 4 singles and then a decrease, and then a decrease. So stick it in the first one, second one, and then finish it. So go around the whole thing, 3 and then a decrease. I'll meet you back. Okay, last step for the body, and then it is completely done. Get rid of your stitch marker. We're going to do a double crochet. So that's putting a loop over before we go in. And then that means we have 3 when we come out, so then we can do a double crochet. Love it. All right, so after my first double crochet, I chained 1. So double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the same stitch. Sorry, I don't know why that part was a little rocky there. All right, double crochet. All right, so after that, we're going to go into the next stitch and do a single crochet, and we're done. We're done, baby. So we should just have like a little bloop. Little bloop. That's our tail bloop. All right, now we want to make sure you got a nice long tail because we're going to sew it across. So leave about a foot of yarn. Look at that. Oh my goodness. And that's going to be like, that's the base of our chicken. Like you're like 80% done with this project. Like how awesome is that? Look at you go. Look at you go. We're going to do our face. So we're going to kind of pinch it in half using the tail as our guidepost. You can put the eyes anywhere you want. I usually kind of eyeball it. Oh, I think that's cute, and that looks pretty even. Snap them in. You can also do like just sewn on eyes if you want. I do a cute little mouth with a scrap piece of yellow. This is the Bernat Blanket Marigold, I think it's called. I think it is just the cutest. Sometimes it's like the first go and it's perfect. Sometimes you're doing it 30 times. I usually do 2 just because like a beak is usually top and bottom. All right, let's see how that looks. Oh, that actually doesn't look bad. And if we fold it, ooh, not my favorite I've ever done, but that'll work. Sometimes they turn out real cute and sometimes they just don't look quite, I don't know, as symmetrical, but some people really like that. Like sometimes the chickens I think are just so goofy looking, just didn't turn out right. People love them. So everyone's got their own, you know, preference. So once we're here, now we're going to stuff it as we go. And we're just going to sew up the back. All right, with our eyes in, we're going to start sewing it closed. So I like to make sure the eyes are lined up. And I do the tail first. And just because it's kind of a funky shape, I end up kind of going over it a couple times just on the tail. Also, I apologize if you can hear my neighbor mowing outside. He chose a very inconvenient time to do that. All right, so we're just going to go down the whole chicken, sewing it up and kind of stuffing as we go. So I'll say this is a low sew pattern, I guess. There is some sewing. Okay, so we're at the last couple. So to finish off the head, I usually just kind of go up into this last stitch and then go back through my loop. Kind of like a normal finish off for any project. Then I take the thread back out over here because then I like to tie the comb off to it so that they're just connected together. And So next we're going to do the comb. We have our red yarn and our hook back out. We do not need a stitch marker for this one. Super quick. So we'll do our slip knot, and then we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to go back to that second one. We're going to do a double crochet. 1. Slip stitch in the next. Half double crochet. You guys can't even see my hands. Sorry, now the dogs are all going. All the dogs in the neighborhood are going at this lawnmower right now. But I think it's worth it to get this tutorial done. So we will survive it. So then we're going to finish this off. All right, everything in my neighborhood's making sounds right now, and it's making it hard to think and talk. So we chained 5. We did then we went back through it. Double crochet, slip stitch, half double crochet, slip stitch again. Oh no, they're going to start barking again. Don't do it. All right, and then you're going to line it up on the head just where you like. Just kind of eyeball it, and then we're just going to sew it on. Yeah, everyone's just going crazy right now in the background. Paula, what are you doing? Get out of the window. See, everybody's losing their minds. Don't know why. Must be something crazy going on out there. All right. So we're just sewing that on. Nothing fancy. Just however you like. I try my best to get mine in the middle. I feel like it never is quite in the middle, and that's okay. I feel like a lot of people like the silly look to it. I will say the past probably 3-4 markets I've done, I have sold completely out of mama chickens. I've been selling them for $25 each, and they've just been selling out. Apollo, stop. And they have just been selling out. I think people just really like that they're kind of engaging, and everyone has chickens, so this is a way to have like a different chicken. So when people go, oh look, another crochet chicken, you go, nope, that is a special chicken. Pick it up and flip it over, and people just kind of laugh at that, and then they get real excited when they see the little baby inside. So I do think it's a pretty good market must-have for me. All right, so it's mostly centered. Oh, cute. See, I like how short. Some people like them real long, you know, whatever your taste is. If you want it longer, you make that longer. Then we're just going to tie it off, and then we'll be pretty much done with the chicken. So I'll tie this off, and I'll be right back. All right, so now we have this big, beautiful chicken. Sorry, I keep forgetting my hair might be touching the microphone. I hope that is not too scratchy. We have this big, beautiful chicken, but she has no baby. So we're going to have to make her a baby now for this last little part. So we're going to get our cute little yellow string. I like the Bernat baby blanket. What color is this? Buttercup. You can use any color that tickles your fancy. I also get the, I don't think it's baby blanket, the regular blanket, the marigold for the beak. So just 2 shades of yellow, a light yellow and a dark yellow. We are going to do a magic circle of 8. This is a super quick workout for the little chick. We are in the home stretch now. And the dogs are still going crazy. I almost feel like I should stop and come back. 2, but we're so close to being done. 3. So I think we're going to power through. Now I got the lint from all the other colors. So I think we're going to power through and try to survive the dogs. 4, 8. All right, so next we are going to do 3 single crochets and then an increase. Oh, maybe 1. 2. Oops, sorry. A 3. Maybe. Then an increase. 1, 2. Then 3 again. 3 singles, 1 single, 2, 3, and then an increase. And then for our next 3 rounds, we're just going to go singles all the way around. So that is 3 rounds of 10 in each. So I will see you back after you do those 3 rounds straight up. 3 rounds straight up. Okay, and then after your 3 rounds straight up, it should be looking a little bit like this. So I feel like the lighting's a little different in here today. I don't know why. So we are going to do 3 singles and a decrease now, and this is our last row. So 1 single, maybe, 2 single, 3, then a decrease, so that's in, single, 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 then a decrease. And now we are going to finish it off. Isn't that crazy? These are so quick to work out. The body takes forever, and then the little baby chick is so stinking quick. See, and I'm being dramatic. Forever really isn't that long. Maybe like an hour, hour and a half. All right, so we have this little guy. We're gonna get our eyes. I have some 10 millimeters. However, you could do whatever eyes tickle your fancy. The mama has, oh, let's see. Oh, actually, are these 10? I think these are 10 and mama has 12. My box is not labeled. I do believe these are 10 and mama has 12. You could literally do whatever size eyes you want, or if you like to embroider your eyes, you could do that as well. So I typically do the second row down, and I'll do about 3 stitches apart. What I'm looking for is that there is one like really clear stitch between the eyes, because that's where we're gonna like put our beak over that. If you don't have that spacing, like it's like something like, oh no, well now it's gone. All right, there it is. Like something like this, it would be really hard to space the beak. Whoops. You could do the 2, well actually that one would be symmetrical as well, the 2. Then it would be kind of a big beak. I usually just do 1 stitch between for our spacing. Hopefully that makes sense. And we're gonna do 2 back. Oh, I already got 2 backs out. Holy moly. I don't know what it is with the frequency of this lawnmower, but like it's in my brain in a way that I can't function right now. All right, 1, 2. Snap it on, then our eyes are in. All right, and then we're gonna get some of our marigold, which maybe like that much. Maybe like 6-ish inches or so. It's probably a little more than 6 inches. All right, and then we're gonna go up, and then we're just gonna go across that 1 stitch. We try to leave that one very prominent stitch. And I like to do 2 just to make it nice and thick. Look, and you could puff it out. And if you wanna do more than 2, you can. Look at that little man. To me, they always look a little bit grouchy. Don't know why. I love it though. I think it's so stinking cute. Now I have done them with the 12 millimeter eyes before, and I feel like it just is a little too big, a little bit too buggy. Someone did buy that chicken. They did like the bugginess, but I didn't particularly love it. See, but I feel like whenever I don't like something, it's the most popular thing at my table. I'll be like, this thing turned out so goofy, but I'm not going to throw it away. I'm going to put it on the table. And then everyone loves it. I don't know if any of you guys vend, if you have that same experience, but that is a common one for me. Now with these chicks and the mama chickens, I go for a firmer stuff. I think it just does them a little bit better if it's a little more firm. Doesn't have to be anything crazy, but like you don't want it to be too squishy. All right, now we are just gonna finish it off like we would pretty much anything else. I usually do 3, 1, 2, 3, and then pull on it. Oh, uh-oh. Ooh, we might just do 2. Sometimes it doesn't pull as nice. You know what I mean? Like some of them are real buttery to pull. 1, 2, and some of them are not. This one's not. Okay, 1. Do it gentle. All right, that's mostly closed. We could kind of finagle that. Every yarn is a little different. I feel like this batch of yellow has just been the weakest I've ever used. I've never had yarn like fall apart when I'm using it before, but this will like snap if I pull too hard. Which I've heard is a thing that can happen with chenille yarn. I've just never has happened to me with Bernat blanket, so been a little bit different lately. All right. Then you finish it off however you want. I usually like to just like run the yarn through the chicken, do little slip knots, you know. Just make me feel like it's very secure. Makes me feel good. All right, there we go. Shove this inside. Okay, almost all in there. I lost my favorite darning needle, so I'm using this one, and I feel like it's just not as good. We all have that favorite darning needle. All right, then look, he's so cute. All right, and everyone thinks it's an egg at first, and when they pull it out and they see it has a face, they always freak out. Like, it's always so fun. Now we have, I tried to fix the lighting. I feel like it still looks really weird today. I have no idea why. So Like I said, this is a little more stout than the Instagram I shared with you. I like the stoutness, I like the short comb, and I like that the chick is shaped like an egg. I hope that you guys like it. Like I said, favorite at every market I go to. Like, these are so popular. I always sell out no matter how many I bring. I literally always sell at least 5 or 6 of these. Like, it's crazy. But thank you for watching. It was a fun tutorial. Hopefully it made sense. I apologize for the barking and the crazies during the last section, and happy crocheting.